Okay, hi Ryan, how you doing? I've got your preliminary work up here, but I'm just going to jump straight to the final logo here. Now, the one thing I recommend is that you've got several variations of the logo, and you say that you're using the same color palette, but you really want to settle in on one final iteration of the logo. It's okay to have alternate versions of the logo, but I would say this being your final logo, I would say the main thing you want to do here is be able to show this on a white background or over an image. So have an alternate version of this where it utilizes the same visual features, however, it's able to sit on a white background. And I would say the obvious thing to do there would be to transpose this color background into the type itself. Okay, I think the logo is good mechanically. A couple of things I would recommend, excuse me, a couple of things I would recommend are right now the rings are very close to the logo itself. So basically it's you're drawing a connection between the rings and the logo, and the rings are kind of a branding thing that stand on their own, so they really shouldn't be associated with the logo as they are based on proximity and the closeness of the rings to the logo. So what I would recommend doing there is I would recommend saying taking this Calgary and taking the rings and placing them below the actual 2022. So you'll take the Calgary, move it up closer to the logo. I think right now the logo is a little bit large. I would reduce the size of the logo in relationship to the size of Calgary. Maybe something like that. Okay, and then Calgary 2022, then take those red rings and place them below. Okay, that way you're associating the logo itself with Calgary 2022, and then that whole thing is associated with the Olympics. Okay, and I think that'll provide much better mechanics for the logo itself. As far as placement goes, I think everything is looking really good here. Now, we have talked about what's called the fifth element. Oh, by the way, I'd like to see your pictograms. I haven't seen your pictograms, so I'd like to see the pictograms associated with the whole set of pictograms on however many you have, 6 or 8 or whatever, associated with the logo. Your placement looks good. Now, we don't have any basic fifth element items, as it were, and that's something we've really been concentrating on quite heavily in class, is this fifth element. And basically the fifth element, just here, let me show you what I'm talking about when I say fifth element. I think you know what I'm talking about, but just to be sure, let's jump over here, and we'll jump over to the Calgary 2010. Okay, and then fifth element is all this stuff here, this background, all of these visual patterns and these swirls and all of this stuff in the background that is pictured over and over throughout the entire graphics package. That would be your fifth element, and that is just kind of supporting graphics so that you're not just placing your logo on a color background and calling it a day. Do you know what I'm saying? So you actually have this whole supporting visual backup system that is helping to support the graphics themselves. Okay, and that's something I think that is something. And you know what? Go through the discussion board too. Go through the critique board for week 5, and go through and make sure you take a look at a lot of my comments based on fifth element and how other students have developed fifth element, and see what's successful and what's not successful. And you can base your decisions on that. So as far as what you have here, I think you're doing very well. I think you're right in there. You got some good placement here. What I would recommend moving forward is to start using Photoshop to place your logo. Once you finalize your logo, both your horizontal and your vertical logos, go ahead and start placing some of your fifth element, your logo, and some of your supporting graphics on these other, other areas, like these banners and these kind of Olympic Village banners and interior signage, as well as ice rinks and environmental graphics, building graphics, outsides of buildings, the arenas, the flags on the ski slopes, etc., etc. And I think that's really important for you to really start using Photoshop to start placing your graphics into this type of visual package, so that we have this experience that you'll share with the viewer, and the viewer will be able to identify much closer with the whole set of events. Okay, so again, let's get those pictograms in place as well, and we'll take it from there. Okay. Any questions, please feel free to contact me and I'll be glad to clarify. All right. Good job. Thank you.